How's it going, guys? Panther Films here, and today we're going to be reacting to Season 8, Episode 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. This episode is titled King County. Now, last episode we got to see the origins of PADRE and the motivations for why they're doing what they're doing. And I'll be honest, it was fucking terrible. The reason PADRE takes kids is because Shrike and her brother, Ben, lost their father because of them trying to give him binoculars because he didn't know how to see like 5 feet in front of him. And the brother was a dumbass, was scared of walkers, got his father killed, who casually was fine being eaten alive. Like, he was just like giving a motivational speech as he was being munched on. And then Shrike and Ben decided, yeah, let's take kids and say that their parents abandoned them because we lost our father and we don't want to put kids through that grief. And they're not even intimidating either. Like, they're scared of walkers in the flashbacks, and in the present day storyline, they're getting outplayed by the survivors. And the big reveal towards the end of the episode was that the survivors thought that Shrike's father was PADRE. Turns out her father died in the flashbacks, like I said. But it actually was her brother that's PADRE. He's the guy behind the screen and on the mic and the speakers and stuff. But he's, like I said, he's not even intimidating. He's a guy behind a screen. Why should we be scared of this motherfucker? And we also had last episode of a union between Madison, Daniel and June. The teleportation tactics of Mo. Dove kind of learning the truth about what happened to her. Her real name's Odessa. She's the daughter of the woman that we saw at the end of last season that Madison and Morgan tried to talk to, and she died on the beach. But once Odessa / Dove learned the truth about what happened to her mother, she blamed Madison for it, which is stupid. She didn't blame PADRE, considering PADRE was the ones that killed her mother. Whatever, he's fucking brain dead. Let's get over it. But yeah, I did like seeing Daniel again. We got some backstory as to what happened to him. Like, he was basically turned away, and then he started a resistance group or a militia of all the parents that lost their kids, and they want to go fight PADRE now, and he's leading them. And Daniel did kind of talk about Charlie and Luciana, but we don't know what's happened to them. Because, I mean, it's been 7 years since Charlie was exposed to a shit ton of radiation. She has to be dead, right? There's no way she's still alive. Now, last episode basically ended with Shrike going to the container yard where her father died and said to her brother that the kids have been practicing for a reason, and I assume they're just going to unleash a massive herd of walkers on Madison's group. And Madison also brought up the fact that Morgan is going to lead Daniel's militia after he's done what he needs to do in King County. And we also had Finch in the episode, who turns out to be fine, which really undermines the ending for episode 2. Like, a lot of people were saying it's one of the darkest moments in Walking Dead history. No, it's not, because it's been solved in one episode, so nobody gives a fuck. It didn't matter. There's no consequences to what happened. But yeah, I am pretty excited to get into this episode, going back to King County, Morgan having a potential full circle story arc for himself, and callbacks to the first season of the main show, which is pretty exciting. But I do feel like this should have been a part of the main show anyway. Because let's be honest, for Fear the Walking Dead audiences, this episode definitely isn't going to hit that hard for them. But for me, I think it might. However, based off the promo, we know like Grace and Mo are with Morgan, which kind of puts me off, because it's like, I feel like Morgan should do this alone, and that's the whole point of it. But the fact that Mo and Grace are going to be here, it's just like, why? But yeah, that about sums it all up. So let's stop doolallying around with this shitty intro and get right into the fucking episode.
King County? What does it mean?
It means this episode's going to be focused on that. Where did he get the stuff from? Did he just make a new one? And how are we at King County? How far away was King County from the swamps? And Jesus. Are we going to see like Vic's house burnt down? Wait, was this the house? Was this the house? I don't think it was it? Filming wise, it might be hard to get the exact same house, but the house looks different. So did he put down Dwayne?
Here.
Turn the handle.
Dwayne?
He did put Dwayne down. Well, there's our answers. It's like the comics.
No! Hey!
And why weren't the walkers going after him when he first yelled?
I can kill you. And you.
But not his son. What if this ties back to him like trying to clear his mind of not putting Dwayne down? Why isn't this in the main show?
I don't know why. I can't do it.
Jesus Christ. His acting is phenomenal. But he's so wasted on this show. Who is that? Jenny. Car. If this is fucking Padre, somehow they found it. What? Since when did they have cars? Actually,
You're a long way from home.
they had like a truck last episode, I think, right? But how did they know he was here?
Whoa, it's me, it's me!
Okay.
How did you find me?
You asked me to come.
No, I did not. Nobody knew I was coming here.
Yeah, well, we need to get you cleaned up.
No.
What are you doing so far inland?
I swear to God, if that's Mo.
Wait. It's just me.
How?
You get the same message that Grace did?
I'm the one who sent it.
I didn't tell Madison where I was headed.
I
Exactly.
didn't have to. The graffiti on the boat, King County.
Well, you are so much smarter than you got any right to be.
Yeah, because the Viters are just making a teleport all over the fucking place.
Came to put my boy to rest.
Mm.
You mean he's...
Walking around.
Well, he's probably tied up, like the comics.
How'd you know about our code?
I knew that song meant something to your mom.
What?
How'd you get away from Padre?
Madison's friend, Daniel, he helped me.
Daniel's still alive?
He's found other parents who's lost their kids. He's building an army to take Padre down.
That's not the same house.
There she was.
And then she was just on him.
His mother standing right opposite him, but she wasn't his mother anymore. He even get my gun up. Jenny was on top of him.
And all I see is red.
Finally did what I should have done weeks before I fired.
But it was too late.
But it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Ran and left him here. Left my boy to become one of them.
Yeah, because it only said in the Claire episode that Dwayne turned. It never said that Dwayne died.
All I know is I started killing anything that moved in front of me, whether it was alive or dead. I killed it.
Except Vic.
I just think that maybe I should go in there by myself.
We want to come.
No, let him do this alone.
We should tell you, we're not letting you go in there by yourself.
Yeah, but he needs to do it alone.
You follow?
Flares?
I was careful.
What? Are they villains now?
I'm the reason he's a Padre.
We heard the message you sent Grace.
That message was coded.
Coordinates and dock of the bay, Morgan.
And you followed him all this way?
Padre's got your son, doesn't he? He's using him against you.
Damn right he is.
You sold us out 7 years ago to rescue your kid. We're just returning the favor.
They brought up the 7 years again. I'm fucking done.
You brought them?
Technically, we came without his permission.
We turn her into Padre. Padre's gonna hurt her. Look, you take off with Grace and Mo right now. Okay, we'll find some walkers that look like y'all, and we'll mess up their faces like we did when Al and I ran from Ginny.
Yeah, but Virginia wasn't that smart.
Look, we have 2 guards babysitting us. Yeah, we rode ahead to sweep the town.
There is something I have to do first.
Let it go.
I
You
can't.
can't let it go. Like,
I'm sorry.
the fuck?
I can't.
It's been tormenting him for years.
Hey, stop!
I'm gonna...
All right, cut them off at the entrance.
Nice 180 though, Dwight and Sherry. This is the house he was in. Yeah, this is it. See? I remember. I guess it's like the other house is where Dwayne died, right? Or turned.
It's getting dark soon.
Vic was right there.
Maybe a rifle if there is under the bed. There'll be extra ammo in a shoebox.
Huh? Wait, wasn't the rifle in the building from Claire? Because didn't Vic pick up that rifle, right? So why is it in this house still? Did it fucking teleport alongside Mo? But what's going on here? Did the writers forget? Because the rifles shouldn't be in this building. It should be in the one that Morgan burnt down. Unless he brought it to this building again. Well, they've got the candles too, like the first episode.
Dwayne made it smell like a mix between wet dog and bad ketchup.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll ever be like that again?
No. You could build up a community and try to get close to what it was.
I said me and Grace were not your parents.
I mean, that still is true.
Upstairs, Mo.
They better try the fucking door handle. Please. Give me some variant stuff.
Where are you going?
I gotta take care of Dwayne.
You just told Mo you wanted a second chance.
This is his second chance. His second chance to do what was right in the first place. To put down his son.
And now we're trapped in this house that you and Dwayne live because you brought us here.
What? He didn't bring you there. You came. The fuck?
Be smart about this, Morgan.
Genius Morgan keeping the lights on.
We're trying to make this easy on you. You're the one that's making it hard. We're waiting, Morgan.
Man, you can keep waiting.
Duh. I'm surprised there's still so many walkers in this area.
Padre thinks you came out here for a reason.
It's my boy.
Son, I came back to bury him.
Sorry, Morgan, but we have our son to think about too.
Wait, fuck off. Wait, what? That wasn't there before. Claire?
I don't remember ever coming back here after Dwayne died.
Okay, maybe that explains why the rifle's there then. So he went here after he burnt down that building?
Wanted to put her to rest. Didn't want Dwayne to have to see his mother like that. A man named Rick Grimes gave me this rifle to do right by her. It went wrong for me for a long time after.
What does Claire mean?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Claire? It's when I was killing.
Pictures? Yeah.
What have we been doing these last 7 years?
Fuck, stop bringing up the 7 years.
If Padre knew what we mean to each other.
He would have used it against you.
Yeah.
But Padre's just some random kid. Not really a kid, but still. Also, why would the walkers... Oh, that's not real. Did they reuse footage there?
But the next one we light on fire keeps walking.
So they're gonna burn them out?
I got Mo in here with me. You're gonna get her killed.
No, you will.
Dwight clearly is doing this willingly, so it's his fault. It's not Morgan's fault. Oh, so this is the same Dwight and Sherry that went up against Negan, right? And went behind his back. But a couple of teenagers, nah, they're too afraid of them.
Padre will hurt their son.
Not if we can help Daniel take the island first.
Would they hurt his son?
Rick, he gave you this gun for a reason. Use it.
I feel like this episode would have been better if Vic was in it.
Me too.
It was a good thing he doesn't stink still.
Never seen anybody kiss before.
And I don't need to again.
Why would you go through the front door and not the back? And why would you waste bullets? Why is she pushing them away and not hitting them over the head? That was a new shot. Come on, Morgan.
I'm here for my boy.
All right, show us. The only way Padre's gonna believe you.
Who are these two random fucks? Kill them.
After you see I'm telling the truth, you can take me back to Padre if you have to.
Why do I have a feeling Dwayne's not in the room? Like he's not remembering it properly. Like it's gonna look like he's lying.
Morgan.
See, Dwight's seen that side of Morgan before. Yeah, that's not Dwayne.
Dwayne?
I mean, he's not gonna respond, Morgan.
Dwayne?
Yo, Dad, what's up? Jenny? Oh.
Dwayne!
It's okay. It's
Easy,
okay.
easy, Morgan.
It's
No,
okay.
he's got to be here.
He must have.
Dwayne!
He must have gotten out, Morgan.
Fucking Lenny James did.
You and Mo, I put you in danger for nothing.
He said he went back to the other house fight. What if Dwayne's in the other house?
He was lying.
His kid's not here.
He won't tell you why he's there.
Kill him.
Please listen to me, Morgan.
His fucking eyes
They
did.
will kill you if you don't tell them what happened here.
Yep, that fucking Twitch did.
You know, it's already over. Do it.
No. No! Please. Morgan! No! Morgan! No! No!
I mean, that's all Dwight and Sherry needed to do from the get-go.
Stand here and watch you get killed in cold blood, Morgan.
And you could have just done that straight away.
It's like living at the sanctuary all over again.
Fuck me. No, it isn't. These are a bunch of kids.
You can talk to him after
After I talk to my son,
I think the treatment worked.
you're gonna be
be all right.
What's going on?
The chimney sweep? Do it now.
Didn't work.
That's like the second time she's been out killer. End it.
There is a morning supply.
Fly boat that leaves in 20 minutes.
I want you to sneak on board.
It was that easy to get Finch out. God, these villains are so shit. I just focus on Morgan, like, honestly. That's like the best part of this episode.
Just know that you have a chance to make things different with Mo.
Yeah, thanks, Dwight. You bipolar character. One minute he wants to kill Morgan, the next minute he doesn't, then he does. Jesus Christ.
We're on our way to drive the walkers away.
Hurry, Mom.
Is there not a back door to that house?
You have to put it behind you.
Okay.
Neither can I. Radiation's caught up with me.
Oh, really? So if she gets bit, she'll be fine then.
Dad, I'm upstairs. I can't get out.
This is where Dwayne is. Yep.
Who's there?
So he came back to this house, tied Dwayne up. I still don't get why the rifle's there though. Because I swear it was in the building from the Claire episode. There he is. Obviously they've got to hide Dwayne's face. Dwayne. Stay there.
I brought him here.
Please, you can do it. I know you can.
Dwayne just got closer to her. Ooh. He did it. Full circle.
It won't take 10 years to make good on that.
2. 12.
We reunite every child who's still got a parent out there.
You need something to help you remember what they were like before.
Whoa, Jesus! Fucking hell.
He didn't get bit?
No, I'm fine. I didn't get bit.
She did though.
But I think he may have been skunked too.
Yeah.
What? When did that happen? How did that happen? She's got radiation in her system. So she might be fine.
Do you think they saw us?
This is Grace. Yeah, Grace and Morgan. Yep. How many bullets does he have in that?
We gotta get Grace to June. It's our only chance.
I mean, we established radiation fixes the bites, right? It's how Alicia survived and it's how Finch survived.
June's gonna be able to fix this.
I mean, episode 6 is called All I See Is Red. She's dead. How did she get that?
June has a way of treating bites.
She has to get to the train car.
There's no
What? Did they just establish that at the end of this episode? What is that?
Come on my way, June. Don't you try and stop me!
Hang on. Did Morgan literally just say in that promo, June has a way to treat the bites, when we already established that right at the end of this episode? Oh, fucking writing is so bad. Oh my god, why do they have to explain everything like 50 times? Yeah, overall, that was just an okay episode, which is weird. I was going into this episode expecting it to blow my socks off, but in classic Fear the Walking Dead standards, it didn't do that. And it's mainly because they didn't focus on Morgan. It should have just been a Morgan episode, him going back to King County, coming to terms with Dwayne being gone, and he has to try and remember where he put Dwayne. And like towards the end of the episode, he could have found him, like said he was sorry to Dwayne and then finally put him down, right? And then buried him. Like that could have been the whole episode of him trying to figure out what's going on, what happened in the flashbacks, and we could have even had flashbacks in the episode. Sure, maybe not to Dwayne himself, because obviously the actor's older, but maybe some flashbacks with him and Jenny. That would have been really cool. However, considering this is the final season of Fear the Walking Dead, it kind of makes no sense to focus on Morgan. Like I said it in the reaction, imagine if Rick was here. This episode should have been in the main show. Vic and Morgan go on a supply run back to King County, or Morgan tells Vic that he didn't put down Dwayne, and they both go to King County together. Like, that would have been a sick episode in like season 9 or something, season 10. Or even the final season if Vic didn't leave and, you know, Morgan didn't go to Fair. I think it would have been a very rewarding episode, because it's where Vic and Morgan's journey started with Jenny and Dwayne and the rifle stuff, right? And then that's kind of where Morgan's story ends in the main show. Like, Morgan leaves Vic after that. He puts down Dwayne and then he kind of leaves. I think that would have been a great full circle, and it would have been a great end to Morgan's story in the main show. And then he could have gone to Fair. But instead, they put Morgan in Fear the Walking Dead, have an episode dedicated to him that focuses on, like, the very first episode of the main show. So if people didn't watch the main show, like Fear the Walking Dead watchers only, they won't understand this episode, and they'd feel like it's a waste. Which in a way, it kind of is. It's the final season. We don't have time to waste with Morgan burying his son. Like, why do Fear the Walking Dead audiences give a shit about that? Like, go back to Madison, go back to Daniel and the Padre stuff that you've been building up for a whole fucking season, just for it to be a major letdown, because the villains are terrible. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I just wish the episode was genuinely just a Morgan episode. No Grace, no Mo, no Padre, no Dwight, no Sherry, just a Morgan episode, and it would have been one of the best episodes. But instead they have to make characters teleport, conveniently show up around the same time as each other. Like, Morgan gets to King County, then Grace gets to King County with Mo, and then Dwight and Sherry show up at the same exact time. Like, what's happening? While I do like that they went full circle with Morgan, I just wish it wasn't so forced. Because in a way, he was kind of forced to save Mo, right? Which doesn't feel as emotional as him coming to terms with Dwayne being gone and then finally finding the courage to kill him on his own without Mo there. Like, I feel like that's more earned, because then, like, Morgan, we knew he was struggling to put down Jenny at the beginning, but then him being forced to put down Dwayne because Mo's in danger just doesn't hit that hard. I do kind of like the remix of the comics for this episode, because in the comics you had Abraham, Vic and Carl. They were just attacked by bandits. This was after the prison, but before the hunters, the cannibals. They were on the road. They got attacked by the bandits. Vic bit the guy's throat out, and then they went to King County. They found Morgan. Morgan said he had to go do something. He went to Dwayne. Dwayne was tied up, and then he let Dwayne go. Right? He couldn't put him down. So, in the show version, or the show universe, he goes back to King County, kind of forgets what happened because he was losing his mind and going insane. And then he finally finds Dwayne and puts him down. He was tied up. Boom. You know, so it's a remix of the comics, but I think it works better in the show universe, because Morgan in the comics wasn't that great of a character. He just kind of showed up in like the first issue, then vanished, then came back after the prison, then died in... Was it in the No Way Out arc, I think? I can't remember when he died, but he got bit and then he basically had like Tyrese's death and was hallucinating and shit from the Tyrese's death from the show. I like the remix. I think it's fine. I like the connection with Jenny and bringing back that actress who played Jenny from the very first episode. Missed opportunity not to have the doorknob turn like the very first episode of the main show, but it's a perfect example of why I think this should have been in the main show. This would have been a perfect episode for the final season. But instead you put it in Fear. Like, it would have been a fantastic parallel to the very first episode of the show. Oh, it would have worked so well. Now we should get on to the major criticisms for me this episode. Dwight and Sherry. What the fuck were they doing with their characters? One minute they want to kill Morgan, then they don't because Grace and Mo are there, and they tell Morgan to leave, and they say, you know, we'll fake your death by killing a walker that looks like you and saying that that's you. And then they say, oh no, we want to, you know, kill you, we want to burn down the house you're in and bring you back to Padre. You know, Mo's in that house too, so they're putting a child at risk. And then they give Morgan a chance to explain why he's here, and then they want to kill him again, and then they save him, and then somehow they contact Finch, which randomly was in that room with Shrike for some reason. I guess as like a bargaining chip. But there was no guards in that room with Strike. That makes no sense. But then Finch knocks out Strike, yet again proving my point that these villains are fucking terrible and not intimidating at all. She got knocked out by a fucking kid, and last episode they were scared of walkers. How are Dwight and Sherry intimidated by these characters? When they've gone against Negan, who's more intimidating than these fucking Padre people. They went behind Negan's back multiple times. These are the villains for the final season, and the villains that they've been building up the whole of last season. Terrible. Now, I've been bringing this up like the whole season, but where is Padre located? I've been hearing numerous things, like it might be Louisiana, it might be Georgia, it might be Texas, like just on the outskirts of Galveston. But where is it? Because no matter where it is, I still feel like the distance to get from like the coast to King County is pretty fucking far, right? It's at least 100 miles, maybe. 80 miles at least. But still, like the fact that all the characters show up around the same time in King County is just stupid. And also the fact that Mo knew the exact coordinates to King County. And she just assumed that's where Morgan went. I just don't buy the distance travelled in that short amount of time. Because they did it twice this episode. They all got to King County and then they all went back to the swamp area. So how long was Morgan driving on the road to get Grace back to Dwight and Sherry? Like, how far away is King County? It must be far, because Morgan managed to unbind himself and find a staff and sharpened it. So it must be fairly far for him to travel that distance. Now, Grace, before she got bit, brought up the fact that the radiation might be back in her system because she can feel it, which could indicate that she won't die. But it seems like she is. She's already pretty weak. You know, she's lying down. It seems like she's burning up too. Because don't forget, it's been a while if the distance travelled is somewhat accurate. Because Morgan would have to take Grace back to the swamps, which would be like 2 hours. By that point, it might already be too late. Because how quickly did they start experimenting on Finch once he was bitten? Like instantly? They must have. Because usually when you get bitten like the lower leg or the lower arm, you cut it off like immediately. Within the first like 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't do that, you're going to die from the fever. Because it's going to start spreading up your system. However, I don't think Grace is going to survive anyway. Episode 6 is called All I See Is Red. Which is fine by me. I think Grace has been going down the same storyline over and over again every fucking season. She's in danger, and then she isn't. She's about to die, and then she isn't. Just kill her off. Like, it's the only way for her to be impactful to the storyline. She's just kind of there most of the time for Morgan. She doesn't really feel that important. And I do kind of feel like their relationship is a little bit forced. It is interesting after, 7 to 8 years that the radiation finally caught up to Grace. Because I always wondered what happened with that. Like, she mentioned she was exposed to it, and then it never really came back. From what I remember of, like, Season 5. I mean, to be fair, most of that season's very fucking forgettable. Wasn't it something like Grace exaggerated how bad it was? I think. Also, I did bring this up in the reaction, but Lenny James' acting is fucking phenomenal. And it's so baffling how he hasn't won any awards for his portrayal of Morgan Jones. And even Andrew Lincoln for Rick. Makes no sense. Because like you have so many talented actors in the Walking Dead universe, but they never get the recognition they deserve. But you already know, the Last of Us show, Pedro Pascal is going to get all the awards for his worst performance as Joel. Because let's be honest, Joel in the game is better. Right? But we know he's going to get a shit ton of awards because of his portrayal of Joel. Which I don't think is earned. Because Andrew Lincoln fucking knocks it out of the park with Rick Grimes. And he hasn't earned a single award for it. And it's disgusting. And it's a perfect example of why award shows are stupid. Because they clearly don't recognise talent. They just base it off like popularity. But yeah, like I said, this episode could have been much better if it just focused on Morgan and not on like the Padre side of things. And it would have been a much better episode if it was a part of the main show versus Fear the Walking Dead. because at the end of the day, the Walking Dead writers are better than Fear the Walking Dead writers. So, it is what it is. And I just think it would have worked better in the final season of the main show versus Fear. Because it's just really baffling that Morgan's full circle story arc ends in a spin-off. This could have been one of the best episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. Now, it might be one of the best this season, but it's not really saying much considering this season's been fucking terrible so far. But yeah, I mean, that about sums up my shitty review. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you for the next one. Ta-ta and farewell.